People are always asking me, Jordis, can you do a video on being a creative? The reason I put it in that dumb voice is because I already have. But okay, sure, why not? I just want to, if you are a creative, first off, I'm sorry, and also, congratulations. True words have never been said than, creativity is both a blessing and a curse. I was going to use an obscure anime reference, but I'm sure you wouldn't know what it is, and I don't want to reveal just how pathetic my personal life is by talking about anime that no one knows. So, instead, I'm just going to stick with that. It is a blessing and a curse. Why? Well, if you actually watched Jordan Peterson's lectures, you would know, instead of just shitting on him because it's the flavour of the month on Twitch. Sorry, that was an online fight that I got in recently. That's why you should never stay online, kids. The reason it is because people that are creative have to do it. They have to be creative. They have no choice in life. They are a vessel in which the gods shine through their other glimpses into dimensions or some shit. Pretty, not very good ending to that. Anyway, yes, that's you. You're a vessel. And you need to do it. This is what people that are creatively intelligent have. It's not necessarily linked to actual intelligence. This is an important point, so you better fucking listen for once in your life. Intelligent people are good at everything, except possibly creativity. Some intelligent people are creative, but there are some real putzes in life that are also creative. See, virtually every band member ever, when you see them in an interview and they're like, yeah, I like to play the drums. Can you speak English without slurring your words? I got muscle relaxant. I can't shit anymore. I don't know why. They're just. Don't you think that they look like they're 80 when they're 30? Yeah, so that's them. Creative people have to create. What makes you creative? Creative is just somebody who is able to get two ideas together and make them somewhat useful. So there is a lot of people, I think, that are creative, but they are making useless products. So the question that I always get, and if this is what you want, then this is what you're going to fucking get. And if it's not what you want, that's not what you're going to get in this video. But make sure that you subscribe so that you might just random chats crapshoot down the aisle. Jordy's is talking about my problem today. Yes! Thank God I clicked the button right below. But for you probably want to make money as a creative. I don't know why I put that in inverted commas. I'm not a hippie that's just like, it's not an illusion, man. It's very, very tangible. I've seen it with my own papers. You want to make money as a creative, okay? But here's the question that you need to ask yourself. Is what you're creating of any use to anyone? I truly think that is the main problem that everybody gets by in life. The roadblock that they hit, just think, they realise, I like doing this, but they don't realise the second thing of, does anyone else like me doing it? Now, obviously, as part of being a creative, just also know this, 95% of people are going to think that what you do is a complete waste of time. That is fine. In fact, 5% would be massive. You want to just find a certain portion of the audience, of society, and it's not that much. Always remember this in your head. If you're starting a business, you pay attention to this, you write it down now because you don't want to forget this stat. If you have a service that 1,000 people will spend $100 a year on, you're like one of the top earners in Australia. It's not that hard to get 1,000 clients who like something in the digital age that are going to pay you that money for what you produce. But what you have to produce has to be useful. This is the problem, and this is, I think it's a double curse if you're in music. I think music is extremely expensive. My heart goes out to all of you sad little musos out there. I also have to just say at the same time, though, you're probably an idiot, and get a haircut, you hippie. I mean, it's such a tough gig, truly a tough gig, because your music has to fit the style of the time. It has to sum up the style of the time for it to be impactful. And especially in today's digital age, What is the style of the time? You can put that in one way in that it's a blessing in that you can get a smaller demographic of people that are going to pay for you to do your stuff. But that demographic, just for a comedian, for instance, a comedian doesn't have to get that many people to shows to support their life. But a musician does because they've got, I don't know, like an entire concert moving around with them. So they're pretty expensive. It's pretty much an army that has to go on tour. They have to pay for an army to move around. There was a reason that there were so few generals in history that successfully brought about civil wars, and it's because you got mouths to feed, and that's you. Except for, you're much less competent than a general is. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself for once in your life. This is what this entire channel's about. It's about getting to the root of things. And you have to get to the root of the fact that my assessment of someone that I've never met in my life is accurate. Just understand that if you are a creative, there are very, very serious roadblocks that you have to get out of the way. First off, the first one being is that, and this is something that I always hear constantly when people say that there's like a very small select group of creatives that get to do most of the work. The point that Jordan Peterson always brings out, Stephen King, I think he equates for like 50% of fiction book sales. Just that name. And he's so lazy now, he just ghostwrites it out. It's just like, yeah, I think I read it. And then he just puts his name on it. And it's because his name becomes that brand and then it becomes identified as like the name in that thing. And at that point, there's nothing really creative about it. At that point, it's just pure business anyway. So this is the other thing that you just need to know. And I know this from personal experience. Believe me, you have to feel sorry for me, somebody that actually did make it. Okay? But seriously, if you make it in your profession of the thing that you are creative at, you know what happens? It becomes a job. No longer do you get joy out of it. So even if you never make it, just know that there is a really good side benefit to it, which is that you will have a passion in your life that will never extinguish. Everybody else, all of a sudden, even the most creative people on earth, somebody that just puts their bum in different colors on a huge wall sheet and sells it for millions of dollars, there will become a point where he gets up and just being like, oh, Jesus, at 9 already? Okay. Red and yellow and pink and green, red and orange and brown. Oh, I spat on my camera, chat. That's going to happen. The one big tip that I would have is find a way that your creativity services the community. Sorry, I know that that's a staple of this channel, but I really, when I read comments and people say like, I just made a mug of myself and no one wants to buy it. Okay, are you Lady Gaga? No. Well, no one's going to want to buy it. You have to find something that people want and then you start producing that and you'll feel better about your life because you will actually be providing what the other human need that you're trying to fill anyway, which is a service. This is the other thing about creatives that make it and they're doing all of this creative stuff. Not only does it become a job, but it also becomes unfulfilling for another reason. The reason I think that I've been able to sustain extreme psychological pressure of having entire papers, news channels trying to troll me, trying to bring down my sensitive spirit, is because at the end of the day, I can say to myself, no, I'm a good person. I'm providing a service to the community. That's what I think keeps me going. That's what keeps me sane. But I think that a lot of journalists, they're not creatives at all. They're pretty much just a photocopy machine. In fact, I think photocopying machines would look at them and think, fuck, they're unoriginal. Creatives, in one way they're creative because they invent a story. It's just, usually it's them copying off another creative. Journalists, jeez, I've mixed them up completely. What the hell? That's what happens to them. After a while, even if they make it and it's not fulfilling a need, usually they're like bubblegum and it goes away anyway. But even if they have a long, sustainable, successful career, there is no way that they are fulfilled. That's when they start experimenting with drugs. That's when they go into the mass orgies, and I'm making the life sound really good. But just know after a while that it is very empty and unfulfilling anyway. So you may as well increase your chances of doing something that you love and something that you need to do. This is something that creative people spiritually need to do. It's kind of like telling a Muslim they can't pray 5 times a day, which I think most of them don't anyway. So it's not a good example. But it is a yearning that they have to constantly exercise, which is my other big piece of advice, which is, once you've provided a service, always remember this motto. Create or hate. Create or hate. If you are a creative, all that happens is that you immediately start comparing yourself to other people's work if you spend even a moment not creating. You know what that does? It makes you bitter and it makes you a cunt. And I know from experience of being a professional cunt. That's what happens to you. You start going around saying like, painting doesn't even have it. It's just got the connections. And oh God, it's so done. Why is this still up there? Let's get over it. Usually the reason that a creative actually makes it, I'll tell you this, it's because most creatives have fragile little pixie spirits, and the ones that are able to kind of gel that with kind of like that lawyer robot Asian mentality of just like, you go look at UNSW law and all the Chinese kids there's just like, I want to work in corporate law. That, if you're able to merge that with being a creative, that's a path to success right there, because you will be producing so much more work than people who don't. Because most creatives produce fuck all work, and they are also perfectionists. They always sit there being like, is it good enough? I don't know. Well, I don't know either. No one knows, sweetie. Just put it out into the world and see if it works. How about that? That's attack. I want that same from you. I want you to know that Mozart, the reason that he's remembered is, he was a creative genius, sure. He also produced 10 times more work than most of his contemporaries. So a lot of it is just shit that you don't know. You just don't even know any of it most of it anyway. You just know the name, which is really the pinnacle of success in creativity. Is just I think I heard of them. And that's it. Most people don't care about your work anyway. So you do it for your desire to give something to the community in the way that is unique to you. That's the only reason that you do it. Now, thinking about all of this stuff about glitz and glamour and fame, there's one thing that I know from my girlfriend, who's an actor, and she, little inside joke with just me, I don't even think that the audience is on board with it, but there's one thing that I see with her and all of her friends, and the ones that go and succeed in acting, it's always because they're interested in the craft. They're interested in the craft, they're not interested in the fame, they don't give a shit if they're doing the fame or not, they just like acting. They like practicing acting. And as such, at some point, they become valuable. Fame is a terrible motivator. It's right up there with money. It really is. And look, obviously, as a comedian that tours the country, there is someone here in this room who is motivated by fame. And I think we all know who that is. Yeah, that's right. Look at yourself in shame. I'll continue to live in my land of denial. But that's when I think I start producing bad work. Every time I start comparing myself to others and being like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Then you just start making cheap comparisons of what everyone else is doing. When you do things that are honest to your spirit, that's when your true work shines through. And even if it isn't, universally popular, it doesn't matter, because it strikes a chord with people that actually get what you're on about. Because that's really a lot of creativity, is kind of just connecting. This is so wanky, but write it down. It really is connecting souls. All right, well, that's enough patheticness for me for one day, unless you want to sign up to Jordan Shanks, in which case there's going to be another 2 videos a week for you. Bam, straight to your computer through the magic of, I don't know what's happening inside computers, probably tiny little microscopic doves sending little messenger pigeons and then some little midget somewhere sorting them together using a microscope, maybe. I don't know why he has to be a midget, just because he's small, I guess. But that's what's happening when you sign up to Jordan Shanks. You get more of these. Good for you. Really good for you, though, because these are life-changing videos. Look at the comments. There is ne'er a video of these that people write out, okay, my life has completely changed. I am so much more successful now than I was a year ago. And again, it's not because I'm smart, it's just because I've read 300 books, so I know what the keys are. I can keep you on track. I will keep you on track. You will have a better, more productive, more successful life if you sign up to Jordan Shanks. Fact, I'm out. I'll see you next time.